everybody, I just finished Race to Robie Creek, which is the toughest half marathon in the Pacific Northwest based out of Boise, Idaho. I run it every single year, and this is my 7th year running it with my dad, and like always, it was a blast. And one of the questions I got this year was, how do I join? What to expect? All of these things from people who are interested in running it next year. And so I decided to put together a video about what to expect from and how to register for Race to Robie Creek. So in this video, I'm going to be covering how you register, because it's a pretty aggressive registration process, the parking situation, so how you kind of carpool and figure out where you're going to park for the day, because there is no parking at the end of the race, the day of the race, what to expect, the course, what it looks like as far as water stations, the supplies they have, what can you expect from the course and the day of the race itself, and then also the end, so the after party that everybody talks about. And then finally, I'll talk about the transportation to get actually back to Boise after you finish at Robie Creek. So let's start with registration day. So registration falls on President's Day every single year, at least that I've been doing it. And registration starts at noon. And you need to be on the website, ready to log in, ready to sign up at noon, because historically, tickets for Robie Creek have sold out as soon as 20 minutes. So every year, me and my dad get on at exactly 11:55, ready to log in at noon, because if you're not on there, those tickets will sell out. It's a very aggressive registration day, and so if you're trying to register like a week later or 2 weeks later, you're not gonna get in because tickets will sell out. Now, this year tickets were $70. That includes the race, the shirt, the after party, and obviously all of your transportation from the end of the race back to Boise, but it can fluctuate. After you've registered, you're going to be getting an email to confirm the registration, and then you can pick up your packet usually the Wednesday before race day. So you either have the opportunity to go pick up your packet on the Wednesday before race day, or you can pick up your packet actually the morning of the race. And usually the race starts at noon. This is on either the second to last or the last week in April. So this year it fell on April 20th, and I was able to pick up my packet on Wednesday, or I could have picked it up at 9:45 this morning at the start of the race. So for race day, you need to know that where you start is not where you end. You're gonna start in city limits at Fort Boise in Boise, Idaho, and then you're gonna run 13.1 miles along Robie Creek Road to the back of Robie Creek, and that is gonna be 13.1 miles out of town. So you can't park at the end of the race. What ends up happening is you're encouraged to park your car at either Idaho Parks and Recreation on Warm Springs near the Shakespeare Festival, or you can park it at Spring Shores Marina up by Lucky Peak. So usually the Friday night before, because you can park overnight the day before the race, we'll go and leave one car at the Marina Shores. And that way, when we're done with the race, the bus will take us back there and we can drive back into town. But just so you know, if you get dropped off at the race, you're not gonna be able to leave a car at the very end of the race. You're gonna have to take the bus shuttle back to either Spring Shores Marina or Idaho Parks and Recreation. So just know you are gonna have to carpool at the end of the day. Now, let's talk the day of the race. Historically, Race to Robie Creek in Boise has always started at noon. So you wanna get there a little bit ahead of time, and so you'll usually wanna get there around 10:30, 11. If you haven't picked up your race number, you may wanna get there slightly earlier, but we always pick up our race numbers on Wednesday, so we tend to show up around 10:30, 11. Once you're at the start of the race, they have all kinds of fun activities. So you're gonna have live music, and there's gonna be themes. So this year's themes was Day of the Dead, to commemorate all of the people who started Race to Robie Creek who have passed in the last year. So this year's theme was super fun. It was Day of the Dead, and they had live music, they had dancers. It was a really fun vibe, and so you can show up a little bit earlier, like 10:30, and just kind of start to people watch and interact with other racers. And then they also always have stamps, so you can put stamps on your arm and decorate and take pictures, and they usually have people to take pictures with, and it's just a good time. So we usually show up about an hour and a half early, because the race does start at noon, and there are bathrooms there are water stations, so if you need to fill up your water bottle, there's bathrooms, water stations, and everything you would need to kind of get the race started. So the race starts at exactly noon, the gun goes off, you start running. And the course is 13.1 miles. It is a half marathon, so it's gonna be the full 13.1 miles. And the course is gonna go up along Robie Creek, up over the summit, and then down the back. Now, to know about the actual race, you wanna be prepared. So you need to bring sunscreen. You need to have shoes that you've broken in. You don't want to be wearing new shoes. I tell a lot of people that you should wear pants that aren't going to chafe. So if you haven't been running very much, you don't want to wear, shorts without some sort of glide. You usually want to wear leggings or a little bit longer shorts if you're a guy, so you're not chafing as you're running. It's a long 13.1 miles, and a lot of the last few years have been really hot. So you might chafe if you're wearing clothes that you're not familiar running with, or you're wearing new shoes that could give you new blisters. So the first 8.5 miles of the race is completely uphill. There is almost no downhill. It is the hardest race in the Pacific Northwest for a reason, and this is why, because the first 8.5 miles are almost completely uphill. And so you'll have 8.5 miles to start of running uphill, and there are water stations along the way, so you don't need to carry water. So every single mile, or about every single mile, they have water stations that have water, sometimes Gatorade, the gel packets, some sort of fruit, so usually oranges and bananas, and then they have volunteers and a first aid station almost every mile of the race. They also have bathrooms at all of these stations. So again, if you're trying to plan and trying to figure out what to anticipate, know there are going to be plenty of rest stations, so you don't need to carry water. And there's going to be tons of volunteers, so if something goes wrong, there are people everywhere watching out for you. So that's good to know. Some years it's been insanely hot. Today it was 73 degrees and it was scorching because there is no shade. So wear sunscreen, bring a hat, make sure that you're going to be protected because it gets hot, and make sure you're staying hydrated along the race. So once you are close to the summit, it becomes a straight uphill. I mean, you are going to be walking. There is no way around that. The last mile to the peak is probably the worst part of Race to Robie. Everybody is walking. It's okay. It's going to happen. Right before you get to the peak, there's something called the Temptation Tent, where they have shots of alcohol, they have beer, they have Twinkies, they have bacon. I definitely had some bacon and a beer near the top. But it's fun. There's music. Everyone's in a good mood. It was gorgeous today, as you can see. And so it's a lot of fun. So once you blow by or stop, like I do, at the Temptation Tent, you're going to hit the peak at 8.5 miles. I made it to the top. After you hit the peak on the course, it is now all downhill. So the last 5 miles of the race are all downhill, and again, they're going to have those water stations with oranges, bananas, Gatorade, water, and first aid along every single mile. So if you're coming down the hill, make sure you're prepared. Some years there is still snow at the back, and so I recommend wearing some sort of cleats or shoes that aren't very slippery. But this year it was 73 and there was no snow, so we didn't have to worry about that. Now, once you get down to the very end, you've finished. You've made it. You've made it through the 13.1 miles of hell. You get to the finish at Robie Creek. And this is when the party starts, if you're not like me and feeling nauseous, tired, and burnt, like I was today, which was kind of a bummer. But at the end of Race to Robie Creek, they have Gatorade, they have water, they have chocolate milk. You get your shirt. This was the shirt. I don't know if you can see. This was the shirt this year. So you get your shirt for finishing. They have live music going the entire time at the end. And then it's all you can drink beer. So a lot of breweries or local breweries will come in and serve beer, obviously if you're over 21. And then it's just a great area. There's a beach to go, stand in the lake if you need to ice your burning calves and quads. There's a little stream that runs along the end. There's tons of food. So they do usually have potatoes, and this year they had burritos, cookies, all kinds of snacks, plenty of water. So just know at the end of the race, it's kind of a party. There's beer, music, and food, good times, good people. What more do you need? But once you're done partaking in those festivities, you've taken your pictures, you want to go home, there is a shuttle. So how the shuttle system works is you get in a long line on this road, and there's 5 or 6 buses that are constantly running. And what that shuttle does is you get on the shuttle, you get on the bus, and it'll take you back to Spring Shores Marina. So if you've parked your car here, you can get off the shuttle, get in your car, and then go home. If you did park close to the Shakespeare Festival at the Idaho Parks and Recreation, then what you'll do is you'll transfer shuttles here. So you'll get off the first shuttle, walk down the road, and then get on the second shuttle to be transferred back into Boise. Just know Those shuttles do stop usually after, I think it's 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. It depends on the year, but they do stop. So there is kind of a last call. You need to get on this shuttle. You can't be at the end of Race to Robie Creek for hours and hours. There is a time limit, and so just make sure you check the website that I'm going to link in the description every year to get an idea of if that shuttle has changed. So that's kind of my overview of Race to Robie Creek. I definitely think if it's something you're interested in doing, you should do it. This is my 7th year. I am obviously sore. I am obviously tired, but it was a blast, and it's always a blast. I love doing it. The people are so much fun. The vibe is so much fun. You feel super accomplished when you're done, and it's just a good time. It's worth it. So if you're on the fence for next year, I definitely recommend you do it. But thanks for joining me today. My name's Autumn, and this is my channel, Adventure Spud. I am a Boise local. And I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I hope to see you on the course next year. Take care.